What's weird about your body? Ask Reddit. Jesus CHR. I was born with a webbed hand. Had a bunch of surgeries to correct it, but my hand is smaller than my normal hand and my coworkers call me Tiny Paw. Buckeye Mountain. 1379. Deleted. 5914. My proportions are all over the place. And Nia used to study art. In drawing class, we had to study human proportions using our hands in strange positions and our bodies in front of a mirror. I got a bad grade. Was told that my proportions were wrong. I had to go show the teacher that, yes, my thighs are unusually long, my pinky's abnormally short, etc. NNMY grade was changed. Isabel Peppergreen. 3191. Deleted. 4916. Deleted. 2770. My fingerprints have almost faded away. I'm 56. And I can't use those fingerprint readers for anything. It happened to my mom. And now my 31-year-old daughters are going. It's weird. Quote. Feeling my age. 2138. Deleted. 532. My birthmark is on my inner ass cheek and it looks like I missed a spot when wiping. The underscore shitlips. 5633. If I have to pee really bad I get a sharp pain in my molars. Kojob. 1320. My body does not make its own antibodies. So once a week for the last 15 years, I've had to get an infusion of antibodies that are pulled from plasma donations. If you donate plasma, thank you for keeping me alive. Quote. Stumphead 11. 9759. What are the cons of not having kids? Ask Reddit. Questioning homos. If I outlast my wife I am probably gonna die in my living room chair and sit there for a few months. Till someone finds me. The Street Force. 5310. I've noticed that I have a very different sense of time passing since I am not attached to the school calendar. I tend to not notice it passing as much. And then abruptly, it seems to catch up to me. Brinazi. 11470. According to my dad, if he didn't have kids, no one would talk to him. Which is true. NNBUT only because he's just awful to talk to. Amidormi. 7092. If something breaks in your house, you have only yourself to blame. Loose_pilot 574, 11772. Can T use the kids as an excuse to get out of social engagements you don't want to go to? I solved this problem by with these 7 easy words your social anxiety doesn't want you to know about. I don't want to go to that. / One and only jack shit. 9926. You run out of people to tell your 4 funny stories and 6 jokes. Piazzo Canuto. 5215. Who else will grab the remote? Longstrong_rip_ 1933. 5713. My dad jokes are wasted. Emotional year 8525. 1293. There are fewer people to walk the dog, though that results in more healthy exercise. A40. 3460. No one to avenge your death or finish your life's work. Enamel Kant. 4522. Tradesman. Have women ever offered sex on the job and why did you accept, decline? Ask Reddit. Register Afraid. I'm a general contractor and had a government contract to rehab and take care of construction stuff in low-income apartments. I replaced a GC who was fired because his men kept on having relations with the residents in exchange for stuff. So I made a rule where my guys had to be in pairs whenever they entered an apartment. And on the first day 2 of my guys went into this lady's apartment to replace the front door because her old one was kicked in. She met them naked and offered to take them both on if they can also get her a new fridge. Zesty Golf 7654. 5744. Or, not by themselves. I once had a bloke I did some work for offer me a go on his wife, as payment. NNTHATSA no from me pal. My invoice, LL be in the post. Grim_farts_Barnsley. 4025. Had a roommate do renovation work on the side. Ended up doing a kitchen remodel for a single nurse. As he tells it, they talked and joked around a lot while he was working. Then one afternoon she commented on his tool belt and asked if he'd ever considered showing up only wearing the tool belt. He ended up staying there for 3 consecutive days pounding his hammer. They are happily married now with 4 kids. Dingbat Daryl. 1974. When I was a teenager, I was canvassing for a double glazing company. A woman opened the door in her dressing gown and kept making jokes about how she wasn't dressed. She asked if I wanted to wait inside while she changed. Confused, I declined and said I could come back later. She then said that it was really hot outside and told me that if I came in, she'd make me some fresh lemonade. I told her that I didn't want to inconvenience her and had work to do. She told me I could come back later if I got bored. When I met my colleagues at the end of the afternoon and told them the story, they explained what was actually going on. Fourth love of life. 10,901. A friend's mom called me once to do maintenance on her late husband's Harley Davidson. Nee realized it wasn't the Harley that needed a service. When she opened the door nearly naked, Nee turned around and muttered something about CMING back later. Which I never did. No Haj nuts. 5505. HVAC tech here. Mostly residential. I've seen my fair share of boyer housewives who will leave doors open when they're changing. Only time I was ever propositioned was after I had done a repair. She was prob mid-50s but smoking hot. I wanted to since I had not gotten any in a while, but I knew it could go south too easily. Hard decision but the smartest. Specialist_salt_7916. 7680. I delivered pizzas for a local mom and pop pizza shop. More than 30 years ago, there was one house that would call in orders and the other drivers would openly argue over whose turn it was to deliver to this address. Being the new guy on the crew, I never got the chance, nor would they tell me what the deal was, so my imagination ran wild. Well, one day the stars aligned and I finally got the opportunity. To my disappointment, it turned out that the deal was that it was an older gentleman who lived alone and offered $100 tip for you to watch porn and jerk off while he watched. NNTL. Doctor, easiest $100 I ever made. Tis odd. 16,022. Only heard of it happening once. Worker was single and in really good shape. And the woman at the house was married with younger kids. Not sure how it happened, but he fell in love with her and ruined her marriage. He went crazy chasing her and she went back to her husband. Word on the street is that her husband ending up leaving her a year later and got to keep the kids. And she ended up paying child support and alimony to him after cheating. And it was lose-lose all around. And the business the husband and wife were running together went under and their handful of employees consequently lost their jobs too. Specialist Way 3804. 3243. No. But after the big freeze in Texas, I did fix this old woman's broken pipes. She hadn't bathed in weeks. It was heartbreaking, honestly. Anyways, once I turned the shower on, she started crying and kissing me on the cheek and insisting I stay for dinner and that I was a real hero. I had to decline because there were other pipes in the apartment complex to be fixed that night. It. Now that I think about it, that was the best job I've been on. My coworkers had families to go home to, but nobody cared. We were all motivated to get the water back on for this whole complex. Late nights and heavy emotions. Algernon Cadwallader. 4651. Not me but an old acquaintance who owned a rough street gym. A ridiculously pretty girl trying desperately hard to be an influencer would get growth hormone from him for 2 blow jobs a week for 3 weeks. And need typically book her in Monday and Friday. Both of them thought it was a reasonable trade and not asterisk 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 in fucking sane asterisk asterisk asterisk. Scott Cheggs. 1807. 7. What is a dead giveaway that someone grew up in an abusive household? Ask Reddit _BARONVOND3LTA. Me and a roommate were having a disagreement in the kitchen, and I absent-mindedly reached into a cabinet above for a plate to make a sandwich. The roommate flinched as I reached up. NSO that. Inch 00. 5424. They don't ask for help with anything. Ever. Kirby Style. 2249. Apologize for everything that isn't your fault. Take blame for events around you that don't involve you. Do everything you can to minimize emotional outbursts of others. It's not great. Horrible choice in name. 4897. 7. Easily startled. Terrified of making their so upset. Refusing to speak to one or both parents. Overthinking about small mistakes. Aesthetic _Kiera. 9771. 1. They are really good at finding out what people in authority wants to hear, and some are really good at manipulation as a result. Not due to evil means necessarily, but to survive and get by. Adler 4290. 4358. They freeze when people start yelling. Weirded out by a family being nice to one another. Upset when you see a happy family dinner in shows or movies. And #X200B. Nedit. Thanks for the PM. Yes, I was giving personal experiences. Yes, I am fine, but I still have those above. Educational drink 430. 3333. This is anecdotal. True for me, but I have no idea if it applies to others. I love being alone. I am not an introvert. When I am around other people I am very outgoing. But given the choice I prefer being alone. I am safe when I am alone. Tall Enough Jones. 6808. Can't relax. What if something needs to be done? Pupakaki. 1355. Being good at manipulating people and situations without realizing it. You learn to read someone's emotions well and how to spin a situation to keep yourself safe. Objective Safety 3601. 1045. They tend to be very independent and have backup plans for their backup plans. It comes from a living environment that was unstable where they were often left to rely upon themselves to get by. Talon. 553.